What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly sports history for October 5th, 2022. As I mentioned yesterday, we are officially a micro podcast. So this is available anywhere you get your podcasts, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, Google, Amazon, Castbox. So wherever you get your podcasts, you can get this, download it right to your inbox so you can listen on your way to work, during your workout. Maybe team this up with a Back to the Future. Who knows? And speaking of that, Back to the Future, we dropped the new episode last night on the 1993 Eagles, so go give that a listen. So everything is set now for the Phillies. They basically were hungover probably literally last night, but got beat by the Astros 10-0. Padres won. The Braves won, clinching the NL East. So all the seeding now is set. The Phillies will go to St. Louis this weekend for a 3-game series with the Cardinals. I might have been setting us up. I don't know, but I like that matchup. I like how they match up with them. So we'll see how that goes. Should be an exciting weekend for the Phils. And before I get into this day in history, I did want to mention, I've heard a lot of people, and I saw a lot of people on Twitter saying, oh, well, they're not real. Like, I can't get excited about this postseason because the only reason they did make it was because of the third wild card and the rule change for Major League Baseball. And honestly, those are probably the same people who are like, oh, we don't need a pitch clock. Oh, we don't need this. Listen, you need to adapt. The game needs to adapt. You want to have more fans. You want to have it more exciting. If it wasn't for the third wild card, the Phillies would have been pretty much like the Brewers were. They would have been just sort of on the outside looking. And if you think back to a lot of those September collapses during the early 2000s, and even post Bryce Harper coming, they were kind of out of it because they were good. They just weren't good enough. So adding a playoff team, I'm all for it. It created an excitement, had a buzz. I haven't watched. This is the first time I've been watching meaningful baseball in Philadelphia in 11 years. So the fact that it's October, the Phillies are playing, it was not necessarily a pennant race, but a playoff race it went down to Monday. Listen, that's what the Major League Baseball needs. I don't know how I feel about the ghost runner on second base in extra innings, but listen, at least they're trying. I'm anxious to see what happens next year with the pitch count. So I think they're moving in the right direction. They're trying. I like the DH in the National League. I know there's some old school people that are like, oh, no. No, nobody wants to see Aaron Nola throw down a sacrifice bunt every 2 to 3 innings. Stop it. It creates more excitement, creates more opportunities for runs being scored, and that, I feel, is what Major League Baseball needs. So the fact that they had a third wild card, to me, I'm enjoying it. This is the first time the Phils have ever made the playoffs not as a division winner. So I think it's pretty cool. So there's that. But back to this day in Philly sports history. The Phillies lost to the Yankees in Game 2 of the World Series on October 5th, 1950. And the score was 2-1. It went into extra innings. Joe DiMaggio hit a home run in the top of the 10th to win it for the Yankees. It was the last postseason game ever played at Shibe Park, which then became known as Connie Mack Stadium and basically was the Phillies stadium before Veteran Stadium became, and it actually was the Phillies' last postseason game or postseason appearance at home in Philadelphia until 1976. So, kind of a big deal. In that World Series, though, 3 of those 4 games were only decided by 1 run or less. So, it was. I would imagine it would be frustrating if you were a Phillies fan back then, but they did get swept, and as I said, they wouldn't be back to the World Series in 30 years. 1980, where they actually did win. So there you have it today in Philly sports history, October 5th, 1950. The Phillies lost to the Yankees 2-1 at Shibe Park in Game 2 of the World Series. Because the Phillies made the playoffs, we're going to have a few I shouldn't say a few. We're going to have a lot of Phillies talk over the next couple, hopefully more than just this weekend, but throughout the month of August because of all of their postseason successes and failures. We're definitely going to have a lot of Phillies talk. I know this is going to sound crazy too. We might even throw in some hockey here or there on this day. So stay tuned for that. Be sure to follow this podcast and get it and subscribe and get it right to your inbox. Check out the YouTube page, Twitter and TikTok, Jimbo_Mont. Let's go have a Wednesday. And until next time, I'll see you when I see you.